there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter, and I decided that I was going to do a quick little tag tonight. So what we're going to do here first, I've already stamped my little focal image, but we're going to work on just a basic manila tag base, and I'm going to use navy ink and stamp some dragonflies that are from About Art Accents. Actually, they're Art Deco now, formerly About Art Accents. They've merged their stores. I haven't used this ink pad in a while, so sometimes I find that if you rub your ink pad on a stamp, it'll give you a better coating, and then you just kind of tap it to get rid of any ink lines. Ink lines, not stink lines, from yesterday's video, if you remember that. That was kind of crazy. I have gotten some more sleep, so I don't think I'll be as silly tonight. Hopefully. You never know, though. You never know, because I've got a beverage going, so who knows? Oh, I'm glad there's no FCC regulation on YouTube videos. There isn't even FCC regulation on radio anymore, so I guess I don't have to worry anyway. I'm going to do the tinier little version of the dragonfly. And the fun thing about starting off like this is most of this is going to get covered by my pattern paper. So I don't have to worry about messing up, or, you know, if I have something that's done really awful, that's where my pattern paper is going to go. So a nice little freedom it gives you. Actually, gosh, it's kind of so pretty, I don't want to put my pattern paper on it. And see, that's what good quality stamps do. They do so much of the design work for you, you don't even have to really do much else. I decided I would use some metallic watercolor. These are Twinkling H2Os. You can use whatever you want. I was going to use my homemade ones, but I didn't have this this pretty shade of green. Oh, that's really opaque. Hopefully some of my lines will still show through that. I thought that would just give me a really nice nice look. And I'm kind of counting on it bleeding some of the ink underneath. This is the Stampin' Up! Dye-based ink. If you used Distress inks, you'd get more bleeding. If you used, you know, Stays On, you'd get no bleeding. So you can kind of decide what you want. I really like a kind of loose watercolory look, so this is what I'm doing. But, you know, completely up to you. And it's up to the supplies you have on hand. Don't feel like you have to go out and use exactly the same products I do. You may already have a dragonfly stamp. I mean, that's what I think is kind of ridiculous when you know, people stop using stamps because they're retired or the company doesn't make them anymore, because, I mean, you've bought and paid for them, you already own them. Why do you need to buy, you know, 25 different butterfly stamps? You know, I mean, I think that's a little ridiculous. So if you use the stamps you already have, and then add to your collection with unique stuff that really fleshes it out. The nice thing about Art Deco and About Art Accents is that they don't retire their stamps. To my knowledge, they keep the same. They just keep adding to their collection, and they're the type of designs that don't really go out of style. They're very unique, and they're very very beautiful, and they're not something that you'd really call trendy. They're more kind of there for the long haul. And I also think I want to do a little spattering on here, and I'm going to be using a couple different patterns of paper, so I don't want to get it too busy. So I'm just going to flick on some of the metallic watercolor here. Now, if you're using the Twinkling H2O, something that's actually with any metallic watercolor, and I couldn't figure out why it was the case, but I think I know now. I think sometimes for some colors they use fish scales instead of mica to get their twinkle. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's why sometimes the colors will mold on you. Alright, so I'm just going to let that dry, and to clean my brush, to clean your water brush, just squeeze it out and just wipe it on a rag until it comes clean, or you can wash it with soap and water if it's really stained, but that's generally how I clean it. Alright, we're going to set that aside to dry. I think I will blot that big dab because that's going to take a long time to dry. We'll just blot a little bit there. Oh, I should have blotted this on a journal page. I would have had a cool background. Oh, you can see the shimmer. That's really kind of fun. It'll be shimmerier when it dries, I think. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is a little coloring. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm not capping it up because look how wet it is. I'm going to leave it open overnight. Maybe I'll take it upstairs next to the wood stove because yes, end of June, I've got the wood stove on. The fireplace is cranking out BTUs of heat because it is so cold in Maine. It's insane. Alright, so here's our little froggy do, and I got a little bit of splatter on it, but I'm not going to worry about that. And I'm going to use a couple shades of markers, and I'm just going to zoom in so you can see me color that a little bit better. There we go. And I don't know what kind of frog this is, but make him green. I've got 3 different shades of green. I've got a light, medium, and dark, and I'm using a Pro Marker and 2 Spectrum Noirs. So, you know, you can mix and match. And I've got to share this. I'm really happy with this cardstock I bought at Michael's. It's the Recollections 110 pound. I got a ream of ivory and white, and I was kind of hemming and hawing. I got it down in Massachusetts when I went down there for the stamp show. And it was pricier than a lot of the other cardstocks. I think it was about $12 for 100 sheets. And I used coupons on each ream of it. So I got it for, about $7, I think. But I'm really happy with it. It does really well for using the markers. And it also, it doesn't do quite so well with the water-based markers, but it does really well with the alcohol markers. And it does really well with card bases and embossing, and it's just a really nice weight. It feels very luxurious. So if anybody was on the fence about that cardstock, I'm really enjoying it. And I think our closest Michael's is in Augusta, Maine, and I think that I'll probably have friends grab me a ream or something when I start to run low, because I'm really digging this cardstock. And sometimes I kind of get in that mood where it's like, if there's something I really like, I don't want to use it because I'm afraid I'm going to use it up. So I want to make sure I don't get in that situation, because this is really, it feels nice on the finished cards and really nice to use. I'm just going in with my medium color now. And I noticed that our local AC Moore is carrying the new style of Spectrum Noirs. I almost grabbed some, but I have so many markers. I picked them up and put them back a couple different times. They had them on Manager Special for $7.88 a 6-pack. I don't know if that's in all the stores, but I'm finding, I decided I'd get out my old ones and I'd use them a little bit more, and the more I use the old ones, the more I'm finding that they're just fine. Some of the colors tend to dry out, but I just have to add a little bit of denatured alcohol to them. It does seem to help quite a bit. Alright. And a lighter color will help me blend everything a little bit more. Go here with this CG2. I do find the older markers, the caps come off easier, and so that might be, that's a consideration. The new caps are kind of more difficult to remove and put back on properly, but you know, they're certainly the right price, I'll tell you that. A couple people asked me, 2 different people on one tutorial asked me, would I pick the Copics over the Spectrum Noir? Well, I would say if they're priced the same, I would choose Copics. I do think they're a little bit better. They're a better marker. I also think the Trias are a really good marker. I actually prefer the Trias over the Copics, but they're kind of hard to find. I think Jerry's Artorama has them really cheap right now because they're clearancing them. But but they're not priced the same. There's a huge difference in the price. You can get a package of 6, Spectrum Noirs for the price of 1 Copic. So, you got to kind of weigh that, and I think that if you learn how to blend on the Spectrum Noirs or Bic markets or something like that, you're going to be an excellent artist. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding what you want to get for markers. I'm thinking my darks are a little harsh, so I'm going to go in with that medium value again and bring it through. The one thing with the Recollections, I don't feel like you can work the paper as hard as you can if you were using like paper tray ink or Nina. So that's something to consider. If you are going to use that, you want to kind of put your ink down and then don't go in and, I think that's why it doesn't work so well with the water-based markers, where you go in and maybe blend over it and it pills the paper. So just keep that in mind if you're using the Recollections 110 pound. I'm really happy with it though. I'm glad I purchased it. I should have, well, no, I don't want to say I should have got 2 because I have no more room for any paper. Oh my gosh, I'm completely at critical mass for my paper in my studio, but it would be nice to have more of that on hand. I bought a 100 sheet ream though. I've got a bit less, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow on the eyes and on the belly. I have no idea if this frog has a yellow belly. If I've got a little yellow kind of coming out where I don't want it, I'm just going to kind of wiggle it up against that edge and hopefully push that back with my lighter color. It looks like it worked pretty well. And then that was my husband. He just yelled down, "Is it too hot upstairs for you?" Because I've got the stove going on and I pretty much steamed everybody out of the living room, and I'm downstairs in my craft room. He just yelled down the stairs, "Is it too hot up here for you now?" Oh well. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you how to erase a mistake too, because that happens. Like right there, I got a little bit too much green. So what I'm going to do is take a clear blender. It doesn't matter what brand you use, but I would choose something with a bullet tip. And you just want to kind of color up to the line. So you're coloring over your mistake and you're pushing that ink. The ink is getting pushed back to the colored area. So it's really a neat trick to know. And this is just a Prismacolor clear blender. All the different companies make them. Prismacolors are easy to find. You can usually get them at any art store individually. So that's, you know, why I have so many of those around. But there's my focal point image, and now let's put the tag together. I am going to zoom out a little bit for you so you can kind of see the whole tag at once. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Alright, so our tag is reasonably dry. The good thing I got the hot glue going, because I know I can glue wet things together with the hot glue. And I've got a few strips of paper here. Generally I would use my ATG adhesive, but I'm just not convinced that it's going to hold on that wet paper, so we're just going to stick it down and it's going to stay where I stick it. Because the hot glue, that's one thing about the hot glue, when it's down, it's down. You're not really going to be moving it unless you want to destroy your project. And I'm going to put that little strip of paper. I'm going to have to be careful because that, you know what, I'm not even going to attempt hot glue with that because I'll end up burning myself. I'm going to see if these are still in. Yep, I'm going to use this fine tip applicator. This is by Tilly's Bridge, and I know she has, the wicked nice lady, Barb, she's got a granddaughter or grandson getting married, I think, so her shop might be closed till the end of the month, but I will put links when it, you know, so that you'll be able to go over and visit it. But you'll probably be watching this video in the future. For those of you watching the video in the future, hello future people. The store is called Tilly's Bridge, and the address is zibbit.com/Tilly's Bridge. So there you go. You could probably just Google Tilly's Bridge and get there too. But they're these great little glue applicators. And congratulations, Barb, on your on the betrothal of your loved ones. And always put your little pin back in there when you're done and store it upside down. Fabulous things those are. Alright, now we've got our little, oh, one other thing that hopefully I could still stick down. The reason I want to do this, one of the other reasons I want to do this froggy card is that a viewer, Pat, had said, "Hey Lindsay, I got those beetles that you showed off during your Martin's haul. I got 2 for $1. It's a baggin'. Can you read that? Can you use that? Orange is really hard. Orange and red are really hard to photograph, but 2 for $1. At Madden's. A baggin' at Madden's, for those of you from Maine, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to take out this little beetle bug here, and hopefully, I've never used these. Well, so when she said, what'd you end up doing with those? I'm thinking, oh, I totally forgot I bought them. So that was wake up call. Lindsay, get your act together and use your stuff. So I'm just going to stick that in there, I think. I think that's where I'll put him. I don't know. That's subject to change. But luckily, it's just a clip so I can move it. I'm going to... Oh, I want to put this mushroom paper down here, don't I? You know what? I want to trim that smaller because I really don't want to... I'm going to glue it down and then trim it. I don't want to cover up any more of those dragonflies than I already have. So yes, I use my hot glue for everything. People are always asking me about the hot glue gun too. I'm using a blue Surebonder, the high temp Surebonder, but I recommend the dual temp Surebonder for anybody looking for a glue gun. I just use the blue one only because it has a longer cord. And also it's high temps in the winter when it's 50 degrees down here in my studio. It will actually get hot enough to melt the glue. Oh, I know, I'm awfully deprived. Alright, so I'm not sure if I'm loving that guy there. Maybe I'll stick him up here. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. And I need to repoke my holes, so let me pause it while I go grab my crop-a-dial. Okay, before anybody asks, this is a crop-o-dial. If you ever want a good laugh, click on the closed captioning on any of my videos and just have a gander at what the robots at Google think I'm saying. There was something about sauteing a coconut on one of them. It was like, oh my word, that the closed captions and the transcripts on my videos are hilarious. I'm gonna have to cover the back of this paper probably with this tag, probably with more paper because it's pretty gnarly looking, but yeah, it'll be fine for this. Just imagine it's covered with paper, it's pretty, okay? There you go. There, theater of the mind, right? I am a radio person. Theater of the mind. Just pretend. pretend it looks pretty, alright? Okay, now I'm going to knot this together, a little overhand knot. This is some Paper Mart jute. It's really thick. It reminds me of that really thick yarn we used to put in our hair when we were kids, put in our braids. And it's wicked thick. It's like rope almost, but I just wanted that natural texture on here, and I really like that. And I'm just going to stick that down right there. I think I like that. And then we're pretty much done. I just think this makes kind of a fun gift tag or bookmark or gift tag that turns into a bookmark, because I hear that's what happens to a lot of my gift tags. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right there because that just doesn't want to stay, I think, because the paper was a little bit wet under there. Hot glue, you wet paper. You will not best me. There we go. Have fun, transcript robots, with that one. Alright, there we go. We've got a tag. So let me just move my little scrap paper out of the way. And you can see the tag. Let me just turn it this way a little bit there, because the camera goes that way. That's the way our screens are nowadays. So there you have it. A very simple tag, very simple gift tag, bookmark, whatever you want to call it. Stamps are by artneco.com. I'll put a link below the video that way. You can check it out. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.